Welcome to week 14. Today we're going to go over how to solve proportions. Now, proportions in the way that we're looking at this is basically just multiplying these two fractions together to create a one-step equation and then eventually a two-step equation. Since we already know how to do one and two-step equations, I'm just going to show you exactly how to solve these proportions by using the sheet that we're working on in our class today. I'm going to look at number one. I have 3/4 is equal to V over 7. Now, the only thing that you should really worry about here is your math and your multiplication, and I highly recommend you use a calculator for this. So, for our first step, I want to draw arrows that are crisscrossing, just like that. So again, my first arrow is going from 7 to 3. My second arrow is going from from 4 to V. So whenever I have my arrows, I always want to remember I'm trying to multiply. So let's multiply these two numbers. 7 times 3 would be 21. Make sure you bring your equal sign over. Equals. Okay. My next arrow that I haven't solved yet is going from 4 to V. 4 times V, or 1V, you can also put your 1 there. 4 times 1V would be 4V. And this is where my equation would end up. So 21 equals 4V. Now, that's obviously not my answer yet, because I have to get V, my variable, alone. In order to get my variable alone, you got to pull your calculator out if you have one, or you could use your math in your head. Please excuse the cracks. But I'm going to type in 21 divided by 4. My answer is going to be 5.25. 5.25 equals V. And if you look at your answer sheet, it's the same equation. Again, all I did was use my arrows, draw them from one number to the other, from top to bottom, or bottom to top, doesn't matter, as long as they're connecting to each area. So if I look over at number 2, okay, I have a over 3 is equal to 6 over 8. All I want to do is this. Draw my arrows from 8 to A, just like that. Now I want to draw another arrow from 3 to 6, just like that. It's going to make a crisscross. Again, with those arrows, I know I need to multiply. So the first one I'm multiplying is 8 and A. I always go left to right. It's the best way I could tell you to do it, because it keeps your numbers nice and neat and organized. So from left to right, 8 times A would be 8A. Okay. For my next arrow, I'm going from 3 to 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 8 equals 18. This is what it should look like on your work when you submit it and take photos. I want to see how you solved it down to a one-step equation. Then, of course, give me the right answer. In order to get A alone, excuse me, I'm missing a step, I need to divide 8 by 18. So again, I'm going to draw 8. Let me redo this here. Sorry. 8A equals 18. Okay? Divide 8 on both sides. It's a one-step equation. We've learned those already. When it comes down to it, 8 divided by 8 equals 1 or 0. We can cross that out. That makes A alone, which is right. So we're going to put A over here, equals. Now 18 divided by 8, most of these are going to be decimals. So when you go down, 18 divided by 8 is 2.25. That's your answer. A equals 2.25. And that is exactly how you solve these. Now, when you get to the two-step equation ones, you look down here and you see problems like we'll do number 11. Yeah, we'll do number 11. So if I look at number 11, I have b over 7. Sorry about the camera. I have b over 7 equals b plus 6 over 5. Now again, no reason to worry because again, we're just going to draw our arrows from 5, from 5 to b. I'm going to do that one first. Now, since I have two variables, if I have two numbers up here, I need to draw two arrows. So the first number is always going to go to the left, 7 to b. That's where my first arrow is going to go. Okay. Now I need to draw another arrow from 7 to 6. So bring that over. Now we can multiply. Okay. Seems a little crazy at first, but let's start here. My first arrow is from 5 to b, which makes it 5b. Okay. Now I can put my equal sign because I'm working on the other side. So let's have a look. 7, and then my next arrow goes to b. 7 to b would be 7b. And then my second arrow would be from 7 to 6. 7 times a positive 6 will be a positive 42 plus 42. Okay, now we have a two-step equation. So if you have a look, what two numbers can I combine that are alike? That answer would be 5b and 7b. I could combine these two because 42 doesn't have a b. Therefore, I need to leave 42 alone and combine these two. Again, don't ever take from the side with the equal sign. You want to get rid of the number in the middle. So let me take this positive 7b and make it a negative 7b on both sides. Okay. Now, 5 minus 7 is a negative 2b. You got to keep the b. Always keep that b there. Then I'm going to bring my 42 down. Your problem should look like this. Okay. Now that's a one-step equation that we could solve. So if I pull my calculator, I know that if this negative 2 is being multiplied here, I have to do the opposite function, which means I have to divide. All right. So if I look at this really quick, and I go about, let me adjust this so you can see a little better here. Okay. I know that negative 2 and negative 2 cross out, so it'll just be b equals, I bring my b down, okay? Now, negative 42 divided by 2, if I type that in a calculator, negative 42 divided by 2, I'll get a negative 21. My answer is negative 21. And that's how you solve those big ones. I'm going to do one last one to help you guys out so that we can solve these together. Okay, I'm going to look at number 12. Number 12 over here has 9 over m equal m minus 2 equals 6 over m. First thing I want to do again, you guessed it, is draw your arrows. Okay? Even if you have to take it one step at a time, you can do that. But you got to remember to draw arrows to each number. So I'm going to take this one step at a time. Since I drew my first arrow, 9 to m, I know it's going to be 9m. Okay? I can write that down. Now, where am I drawing my numbers next? From 6 to 2, from 6 to 2 and 6 to m. Either way, they both need an arrow from 6. So let's do that now. First, I'm going to draw my first arrow to the negative 2. Okay. Put my equal sign here because I'm done with that work. I'm done with this first side. Okay. 9m equals 6 times negative 2 would be a negative 12. Okay. My next arrow would be from 6, positive 6 to positive m. I'm going to draw 1 by my m. 6 times 1 would be positive 6m. And that's how I solved that. Okay. Now, with our given format, there are two numbers that we can combine here to bring it down to one step. And that's 9m and 6. Now, I don't want to touch the 1 on the equal sign. I want to use the 1 over here, and I'm going to bring it over to the 9. Since this is a positive 6, I want to make it a negative 6. And I'm going to bring it over here. Okay? We could cross those out because that makes 0. 9 minus 6 is 3m equals 12. I brought that all down from there. 9 minus 6 is 3. Now I have a one-step equation. Since 3m is being multiplied here, that means I need to divide on both sides. 3 and 3, just like that. When I divide them both, I know that 3 divided by 3 is 1. I could cross that out and bring my m down, so now my m is alone. 12, negative 12 divided by 3 would be a negative 4. That's your answer. And that's all there is to proportions. Again, a lot of the stuff is one-step and two-step equations, but more importantly, please use a calculator. Make sure that you're utilizing it the right way and make sure that all of your numbers are getting arrows, okay? Last but not least, wherever I mark my equal sign, I want to make sure I'm done with the first part of my equation first before I mark an equal sign. For example, if I look down here at number 20, my first step would be from k to 3. If I draw that first arrow, I know it's going to be 3k. Now you put your equal sign because you're moving on to the next side of the equation. And that's where that belongs. So in that case, 5 to k and 5 to negative 2. Drew my two arrows. 5 times k would be 5k. Then 5 times negative 2 would be negative 10. Combining these two, I know it's a positive 5, so I'm going to make it a negative 5k and bring it over to the left. 3 minus 5 would be a negative 2k equals negative 10. Negative 10, sorry. Okay, and then I could divide these. Minus 2 on both sides. K will equal 5. Again, that's where you put your equal sign.